What's going on, Cowboys? Welcome to another live stream. Welcome back to the channel. Green Figures, always glad to see you, man. Good to see Mike Thomas as well, and the rest of you guys. Thanks for showing up. I've got like different screens here, that's what I'm looking at. Thanks for showing up. Today we've got a lot of topics to cover, and maybe if we don't cover any of them and the conversation just winds up, that's fine too. But we've got some amazing guests on here, guys that are smarter than me, that I'm always learning from, and I think if we pick their brains long enough, we can. You guys can learn something from them too. I just want to have a great show for everybody tonight, and of course, we got to bring them in style. When people try to FUD him, he just says "see ya." Always going and never stops, like a solar-powered Kia. Driving through this crypto winter, it's a marathon, not a sprinter. His bags will go boom like an automatopoeia. He's the one, the only Brad from Infinite Crypto. Welcome to the channel.
Hey, so great to be here, man. Thank you for having me. And you're way too humble, my friend. You too add so much value. And that's one of the reasons I love coming on to your live stream. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming on as well. It's always good to have you back, refreshed from vacation here, Mr. Bahamas. I saw you basically documenting it on Twitter. And so if you guys haven't known, his links are in the description down below. I don't think I put your Twitter on there, but I'm sure you can navigate to it from his YouTube channel. So what's going on, everybody? Good to see you guys. Be sure to check out all the guests that are going to be on the stream tonight. But we got to bring in the next guest. This man is for liberty, and he will never fall away because he's taking to the fight to the elites. He's going all the way. The Fed is going to hate this as he speaks against the Matrix. Prepper always lives free like he's living on a holiday. He's the one, the only Prepper Crypto.
That was amazing, man. Hello, interwebs. God, that was awesome.
Yeah, glad to have you, brother. And yeah, it's always a pleasure, especially the last time we talked about when you were first on the stream. It was like a really in-depth talk. So I want to go down deep today. There's a few topics that I want to talk about. You guys might know a lot about them or nothing about them. I don't know much about them, so I think it's okay. But before we do, it's a terrible time in the markets right now in general. Right now, there's a small rally, but for me, if it rallies from 15.9 to 16.8, it's not. I don't think it's a big rally. I don't know if I would consider that a rally. But what do you guys think about what's Bitcoin happening? What's happening with crypto and maybe the overall market sentiment? Is this just a small uptick? Where are we in the big scheme of things? And what should we be doing to prepare?
Give him the Hawkeye, Brad. Give him the Hawkeye.
Man, I was going to let you go first on this.
No, I like your takes on the. Let's hear it. I want to hear it.
So my crystal ball is broken, but this is kind of what I've been expecting for a while.
Yeah.
I've been saying that we were in for some more pain. I've always believed that we're going to see somewhere in the ballpark of maybe 10 to 12K Bitcoin. I just wasn't sure exactly what was going to set it off. So some of these insolvencies and obviously the FTX debacle, kind of caught me by surprise. It wasn't all that long ago that I thought of, hey, if you were going to keep your money on an exchange, which I don't recommend, Coinbase, FTX, Binance were probably some of the places that if you had to keep it, that you might want to keep it. And then here we are, with it going down. So, I have a lot of different alpha, and you never know who to believe. I still believe that we need a relief rally at some point in time during the other bull markets, especially the one that I experienced the most. Bitcoin had several fake outs where it came roaring up and got everybody's hopes up and really got everybody excited, thinking that we were headed back, to new all-time highs before the rug pulled out from underneath us and it went down even lower. The only time I can remember just in the last couple of months, Aaron, was when, I called Bitcoin at 25K, but I really expected Bitcoin to get up higher at that point, and it didn't. I still think that at some point in time over the next, couple, 2 or 3 months, we're hopefully going to see $30,000-$35,000 Bitcoin.
Really?
Not because I think we're going to continue up above that and life is going to be roses and tulip blossoms, but I just think that that's part of what needs to happen. And I think at that point we hit that 30 to 35 range, we will come crashing back down and really shake out everybody that was left, or a lot of the people that were left will get shaken out during that. And then we'll be ready to, start rolling along and hopefully seeing some new all-time highs in 2024, 2025.
So you're saying in the market cycle, we've experienced this 80% crash or so, and we're due for a big relief rally, and you're thinking 30 to 35K. You don't know when or the catalyst, and then after that, it's going to crash down even further than where we're at now, like 15K, 14, 13, 12.
Yeah.
Okay, I can believe that prediction. I don't know. Timelines are hard to pick. I should say near impossible to pick out, right? But you did one time, so which is great. Pratt, what are you thinking?
Man, it's kind of similar to Brad, but I have basically, I'm feeling like we are pretty much at the bottom right now. I think we're going to revisit this possibly in the same timeline that Brad's talking about, but essentially right now I haven't been excited about having the chance to buy crypto in a while. So I really didn't buy the ride up. I bought the spot when it hit the COVID crash and held the line for a long time. And, I'm feeling really optimistic that we're essentially establishing a rock bottom at around 16, 17K, which is awesome to me. It looks like there's just insane seller exhaustion right now. We've had the third largest miner capitulation in the entire history of Bitcoin. The only other times that miners have capitulated at anything close to this level is when it was at $2.10 and then $200. So
when you say that's a big word, I don't know big words, right? Capitulated. You mean you said the miners sell off their Bitcoin?
Yeah. Absolutely. So basically, the miner capitulation is coming from the energy costs compared to the value of the Bitcoin that they're able to pull out of the hash rates. It's at an all-time high for the hash rate and difficulty. The hash rate's actually going to have an adjustment of about 8 to 9% less difficulty coming up. It's a natural system that works within Bitcoin to adjust for difficulty as the hash rate fluctuates and you have a different amount of computing systems involved with the network, just to be able to stay robust, give it, if there's a smaller amount of people involved with mining it actively, then the few that are left have a pretty green pasture to get. So essentially right now, the energy market, I feel like has, I think the energy market, the oil and overall energy costs are essentially helping create this stronghold bottom for us. And I've heard a lot of people calling for, 10 or 3K and stuff like that. That can happen if Tether it goes down, but I really don't think that we will see either Tether or Silvergate, the other one that's in the news. Silvergate's basically your on and off ramp for crypto exchanges, for most crypto exchanges.
Got it.
And it comes from traditional finance realm. It's got a lot of traditional finance players backing it. I don't think that they're going to let their baby go to sleep very easily. Just the DCG, Digital Currency Group, is the overall scope that keeps all the pieces together. So
are you saying that it's more expensive to mine the Bitcoin than what Bitcoin is actually worth at these days?
So. Yeah, very much so. Yeah. So in Georgia, it's $13,500 per Bitcoin to mine in Georgia, but that's the cheapest in the country, one of the cheapest. Wow. And there's some majority of the U.S. It's around $22,000 is what it costs to mine the Bitcoin.
Oh, and then that's a difference of what, 6,000 or so, whatever.
It is, so this is killing a lot of small shops, like mid-size shops. The small guys holding on, they're actually taking advantage of the selling to a degree. There's also small guys selling, that plays into just the need to sell during the recession. The inflation's killing them at home. They don't have a bunch of money. They're mining. They have an asset. They get rid of it. Sorry, my wife's making taquitos right there, but yeah. So basically, what you're seeing is, I think that we're going to see a morphing of the mining in and of itself for proof of work. I think that we're going to see Shell and Exxon be the white swan involvement. I think that we're going to see regulations come down. It's going to scare the hell out of everyone, and it does. But written into that White House request is a payment program and highly incentivized program for Bitcoin mining to happen on the oil field itself. So we're going to see, in my opinion, a marriage of Bitcoin mining and energy very soon. It's and this is all going to be sped up because of the arms race, the technological arms race between the United States and Russia and China.
So that sounds awesome, actually.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah, I'm feeling really good about
that
stuff.
Sounds really cool. So
Yeah.
what are you guys buying right now? Are you buying Bitcoin? Are you guys buying altcoins? What are you generally buying?
What are you buying, Brad? Tell me what you're buying right now. I want to.
Well, it's kind of an interesting topic, because for months now I've kind of been preaching, top 25 tokens, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Some of my favorite altcoins were, Polkadot, Chainlink, Matic. I still love all of those, but I'm kind of, this last couple of weeks I was in the Bahamas, and I was really kind of figuring out what I would really need to do and have to do to really live like totally my dream life. Like I have my freedom from the job and stuff right now, but there's a lot of things that I would like to do. And I really figured that I need 10 million is probably a good starting point. And so I kind of just recently thought
it's a good starting point.
There's some tokens that I haven't really been talking to my community as much about because they're a little riskier, but I'm starting to get to that point where, especially with people hurting as badly as they are in the economy, and I've talked to a lot of people that only have a few $100s here, a few $100s there to invest. Like they don't have $100,000 to throw in the market and then have it 10x or 20x to 1 or 2 million. They've got, maybe $2,000 or $3,000 or 5 or 10,000 at most. And I want to give some of those people an opportunity to turn that into millions. So I just recently bought some more Beam Swap. You and I were talking about that before the stream started.
Yeah.
I'm also been looking. I did a video on a token called Dimitra, DMTR. That its all-time high was about $6. Its all-time low right now is about 0.4 cents. It's down 99+%, which is scary. At the same time, I know the team very, very well. In fact, I'm getting ready to do an AMA with the founder of the company next Tuesday. They are working extremely hard. They're building. They have a big team. They're fully doxed and vetted. Like they're really working hard behind the scenes, and they've got the money to ride out this bear market, even if it lasts till 2024, 2025. And so I've been picking up some of that. Then I got back
in. They're like a winner of some award or something.
I would have to take a closer look at what I can't really see what you've got on the screen there.
We're so excited to share that Dimitra Technologies is the winner of the W3B and Blockchain World 22 Entrepreneurship Award.
Okay. You know how award ceremonies go.
Yeah,
you can pay off and stuff like that.
So anyways, I'm getting a little bit more exposure into something like this. I mean, like you'd have to do the math, but if you take, $100 divided by 0.005 and then multiply that by $6 if it goes up to its all-time high, I want to say that you're at around $30,000 or more off of $100 investment. So when I do talk about tokens like this, I'm always very careful to let my audience know that they don't got to go big. They don't got to put a bunch of money into them, but even just having a few $100s worth of exposure into some of these tokens could potentially be life changing.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I think the fair warnings too are really important, especially like, hey, I don't know, man, but these are
Yeah.
ones that I really like. It's the degen in me that I kind of like that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Ty Stu brings up some good points here. He says, I think 2024 is the year of pain in general. There are no votes to win, so no need to fake inflate the economy at all next year. And then he agrees also that ExxonMobil is already mining and stuff like that. Do you guys agree? And Green Fingers
No.
is saying 17.3, a local
Yeah,
top.
I don't necessarily agree that the tightening can exist for too long. My basis for thinking that is I kind of brought this up today, but in the blockchain basement after our live stream, but it essentially, in the 1980s, we had to raise the interest rates up to like 17-18%, right, Brad? I think I was
What are you trying to say?
Yeah, I was
Like
I
I
was a
would
baby.
remember, huh?
Yeah, I'm hoping you remember that. But yeah, basically, they started those rate hikes, right in the 70s. It took a long time of consistent small rate hikes to increase the Fed funding rate to that level. We're at a 7.5 right now. People have lost their minds. This is, oh my God, what are we doing? We're going to destroy the EU and the EU, money. The whole FX arbitrage is going right now between Japan. We're trying to remain an attractive trade partner for the US, but the dollar valuation is way off kilter. So these things need to be adjusted if they want to keep that flow of goods coming seamlessly. So you have to keep into account the interconnectedness of our global economy right now and the implications of, in my opinion, it is a world war going on right now. We just are waiting to see if it's going to be escalated to the 99 red balloons moment, right? So I don't see the ability for us to continue raising and put Japan and Western Europe into the ground as far as evaluations of their dollar, because they're going to have to remain loyal to the United States within the framework of the United States being the world reserve currency still by technicality. And you will soon see BRICS start to come up as a aggressive grouping of countries that are looking to dethrone the U.S. from that world reserve currency status. So that's what I'm talking about, the technological arms race. This is a modification of money and commerce to be the most aggressive and controlling nation on earth, and it will be one of the two.
I heard this one thing. I read this somewhere. It was like most people think World War is just like boots on ground and missiles flying.
Yeah,
but there's also like there's like 6 different world wars. I can't remember all 6, but there's like the physical war, there's a financial war, there's a trade war, there's a technological war. There's like these multiple different wars.
There's a narrative war. There's
narrative war, like propaganda for sure. And like you could see that playing out with the whole Ukraine-Russia thing.
Right.
You could see that playing out in so many different ways. I didn't even I think that's another one. It's so crazy how a lot of this, I mean, it's just like all interconnected, and there are different fronts of this war fighting. And I think you're right. I think we're in the war right now, just not maybe.
We just don't want to admit it. We just don't want to admit that there's a chance and a potential that the U.S. dollar could no longer be the king in 2030.
Yeah.
So keeping that conversation out of the public's mouth is pretty important.
Yeah, and it's a high level conversation that it's like you got to sit and like marinate on that. You know what I mean? Like, like is what Ray Dalio is saying, like a changing of world orders. Like you got to that's something that you can't just fly off the handle and just kind of like, oh yeah. Just like,
well, that's why I try to quantify it in street talk, because
yeah, me too. I really try to lizard brain it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's important for everyone to know, or at least have a slight grasp on what's going on or what to expect. A lot of people that are afraid to purchase a home, even though they can afford it right now, because they think that the interest rates will come back down. And, we probably will see 2-3% interest rates again, but it's going to take a while to get
not anytime soon. Yeah, that's not anytime soon for sure.
We could probably do a short-term chop down to 5% in like 4 or 5 years from now, but it's going to remain elevated. So speaking
of wars, you guys, I started listening. I have lunch with like these friends who I think are bigger thinkers, and they brought up something like in China, and this is not, I'm just thinking about it now, but do you guys know what's happening in China right now?
Oh my God, absolutely.
Okay, so you know a lot. I didn't know anything, Brad. I'm not sure if, I mean, how much you know of exposure to China. Here's what I found out, and I pulled up some articles, but this is just what I'm like finding out. It's like there's this building that caught on fire, but people are so scared of COVID over there. They barred the stairwells in the building. So when this building caught on fire, people couldn't escape. Right. And so they like burned to death, which is like
44 people died.
Which is, I mean, abhorrent. You know what I mean? Like that is crazy. Now, what's happening is people are protesting, and they're protesting by holding up blank signs because you can't protest, otherwise you're going to be taken away. You know, so you're going to be so they're just holding up blank pieces of paper, but that's saying enough. And it's just one of those things where like I see a lot of political unrest here. I know, Brad, you've been talking a lot about freedoms. You've been talking a lot about the ability to like to get control off of you. Like they want you a certain way to fall in a certain line. I know, Prepper, you are deep in this rabbit hole. Maybe talk to us a little bit about the importance of freedom, especially married with the idea of crypto. So something you guys have a reaction to.
Brad, let me hear it. He's got a good one on this. I love it.
Well, man, I was lucky to be born, kind of in an entrepreneurial family. I was always taught that I didn't deserve anything that I didn't earn and work for. My dad pretty much taught me, hey, America is the land of opportunity. And he basically said, hey, all we really are looking for is the ability to go live our dreams and do what we want to do, have freedom to do it. We don't expect anything. So I'm very much, small government. I'll never forget the first time one of my daughter asked me it's been a while now, back when Obamacare was coming in, and we got to talking about free health insurance, and I asked her if she thought free health insurance was a good idea. And of course, being 12 or 13, she thought it was an amazing idea. And I disagreed, and I think that people don't understand that it's not free. Somebody's paying for it. And it also gets down to the doctor. This doctor goes to medical school, spends 8, 10, 12 years becoming a doctor. And now you're telling them that they have to work for this amount of money and so on and so forth. I've even gone as far to say, even if it was in my own family, if somebody here in America, this is going to be probably one of the most controversial things I've ever said live, somebody here in America doesn't go out there and earn enough money and create a life for themselves to where they can afford health insurance, and something bad happens and they end up suffering because of that. I don't wish that upon anybody, but I'm a little bit along the lines of survival of the fittest. Like we have the ability. I'm all about living a life of responsibility. I think winners live a life of responsibility, and losers live a life of blame. And so while some people would blame other people for all of their problems and why they don't have health insurance and it's too expensive and this and that, winners just go out and figure out a way to get it done. And so I'm kind of hardcore on it, man. I just leave me alone. All I want is the ability to go create freedom in my life and get out of my way and let me go do it.
All right. I'm going to interject here.
I'll let you interject, but for the channel, please, YouTube, please don't ban me. Okay, this is not a political show. Okay, it's not a political. I'm apolitical, especially with my job and on YouTube. This is the views of these two.
I love freedom, and in my opinion, I obviously grew up in a different time period as Brad, but this is what I saw. So before Obamacare, aka healthcare blackmail, it was $50 a month for healthcare, and the healthcare cost was exponentially lower than it currently is. What we've done in America is arbitrage a system of absolute compliance and control. We shook the public into fear of $3,500 a year fines for not having healthcare under the current Obamacare system when it was released. And now me, as a 34-year-old father, I pay an ungodly amount per month for useless healthcare that they won't cover a single medication for my daughter. They won't cover a single item of need from the healthcare system.
Oh my gosh.
So even with paying the cost that is equivalent to my mortgage per month for a healthcare, it is useless. So I had to throw it down. I agree with your freedom thing, but I grew up in a different time zone or a different time frame, and it's treated me different than it did the boomers. So yeah, it's a different. Basically, I'm at the point where I'm going to pull my own tooth out of my face because I need some dentistry work, and I don't trust the healthcare establishment at all, especially what they did in the last 2 years with the new flu season. So
yeah, I will thank you for that one. But yeah, I think right now it's hard to say. Like I guess I have my own viewpoints, and I'm pretty obviously conservative, being a Christian pastor. However, what I've seen is that like both sides of the aisle are kind of working together sometimes.
That's how
as far as the dollars go, like ideologically, maybe not, right? It's pretty obvious, but like where the dollars are filtering out, how the media is covering things and not covering things. I'm like, all of you guys are shady. You know what I mean? I really do feel like that. I hold my own personal beliefs, core fundamental values, but I see a lack of values on both sides of this aisle that don't match with what I think should be happening.
Which is unfortunate because you need cohesion on whatever side that ends up coming with a good program. It'd be great to reinstate, a free market and put cost controls on x-rays because, or a tap on the knee shouldn't cost someone with healthcare $300, right?
Yeah, I never cared about healthcare until my daughter was born. I really didn't.
Yeah,
I had zero care for healthcare until I got a wife who got sick. Like she's got the immune system of an elderly baby, so she got sick all the time. And then we had this baby, and it cost $12,000, and I'm like, does it really cost this much? What is happening for us?
And let's plug this into what we talk about all the time, crypto. Right. Yeah. So let's talk about transparency within transactions on businesses. A lot of what we, the public, have long forgot is that these institutions are supposed to work for us. Instead, now they harvest all of our data. We know nothing about their book logs, how much their profit margins are on that X-ray. I don't have a profit margin on that school checkup that costs $250 for 5 minutes of, oh yeah, they're alive, they weigh this much. All right, see you later. I don't get to see the profit margin on that. I'm left in the dark. They work for us, the people. And that is a idea that we need to keep reminding people.
One thing I heard was a great idea, and it made sense to me. So I guess I have a limited understanding of this, so I don't want to talk out of my scope of knowledge. But from what I understand is certain states and areas and regions have localized healthcare, meaning that that healthcare is only offered there. Whereas, so something like there's healthcare in Nebraska that's not the same as healthcare in Florida. So like there's just like Florida Blue or whatever. That's why it's named that. But they're not allowed to compete with each other over state lines or over whatever lines that they draw. And that creates like very higher prices with lower quality because there's less competition. And to remove those lines of competition, I mean, this is just this is just economics 101. This is business warfare 101. You have more competition, you drive quality up and you drive prices down. This is one thing that I just never, I was like, why don't we just do that? I have no idea what's going on there. But
in the healthcare and the crypto side, BJ in my office, he is just amazing. He's got he's really close to having like a medical degree. And he is really been showing me the light on actually being able to keep medical records on a blockchain so that they can't be deleted when the narrative shifts, right? Because of how many medical records, and not medical records of personal people, but studies had been deleted. There was a large amount of electronic book burning during the flu season. So yeah, imagine if you have to lock information on and it's accessible to everyone and open source.
Oh, that's big time.
Right.
Yeah, that's the narrative warfare that you're talking about right there. Yeah, I hate that junk, man. I really hate that junk. I got to comment here that I'd like for Brad to respond to. Disagree with Brad. Being from the UK with National Health Service, private healthcare is still available, an option if you can afford it. But for people who can't see loved ones die to a curable, I think he said illness afterwards here, curable illness. Do you have like a response to that? Maybe I'll just put that on the screen for you. Green Fingers, constant on the channel here. Yeah, I guess Green. What are you saying? Like there's options for people if they want socialized healthcare or national healthcare service versus a private one. Is that what? I don't think, Brad. I'll ask you for a response on it.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what you mean, Green Fingers, but I think we're probably agree more than we disagree. I'm not against healthcare. I just want the ability to have it be, free market and not government ran and socialized. I think that if it was free market, we would all be paying a lot less. And these insurance companies take advantage of us. And then when Obamacare kind of came into place, it really, just kind of like so many things that happen when it seems like the government is looking out for us and is looking in our best interests, it ends up, it just doesn't work. And so I'm not against healthcare. I have it for me and my family. I'm like Drew, it's expensive, but it's worth it. But I just didn't like the way that they tried to socialize it.
Yeah, I think what he's saying, I think if I read that right, the healthcare has established a baseline, but if you can't afford a private, more higher quality, you're free to do that. And I think Brad is actually in agreement with that. Is saying,
1,000%.
If you can't afford it, just don't force it upon me. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody goes into the hospital, goes into the emergency room, and they don't have health insurance, I don't think they should get turned away. I'm not saying that they should, get some help. They should get some medical care. I'm not saying just be heartless and say, "Oh, you don't have insurance, go home." That's not it at all.
Yeah, and admittedly, I'm talking out of my depth here. I'd rather talk about like DGen plays and stuff like that. While the conversation is going here.
This kind of applies to that though, because if you the reason why I'm bringing up the application of blockchain to this is you can pay attention for companies that are doing innovative projects within.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah. Because this increase in transparency, we see this demand for proof of reserves, and the Merkle tree is going to be instituted, which I think is great. This is a great silver lining in this nuclear bomb that is SVF that I see. But I do see the potential and the application for this transparency to go into healthcare. This is a chance for humanity to
100%.
And walk, because a free market, like Brad says, works if there are transparency guidelines. If the public is aware of the profit margins, and if you can be held accountable as the leader of United Healthcare, whatever it is, then and I know that we're far from that right now. I see Ty. Everyone's acting like it's a long lost thing, but in my opinion, I know it's a long lost, but there's still blood and there's still blood in my heart, and I'm not dead yet. You know what I mean? So I'm still going to be fighting for this. Yeah. And we have a last ditch chance, I feel like, with these decentralized systems. Actually, the first we have to tackle the monetary system, and then you'll see these things bleed out into real estate, healthcare, the gamut. So
Ty Stu has an interesting comment. It's just a really story. Full transparency. It's so worth it and grateful for healthcare, though I had a deaf son. Health insurance is a blessing for cost of cochlear implant. I'm guessing that's the thing that helps you hear. But I work my knuckles off to get the good insurance. That's exactly what Brad was talking about earlier. We don't find excuses or people to blame for, oh, it's because this that we can't afford. You just head down, white knuckle, and you just grind it out. One thing that to your point, Drew, that I was really I'm churning my brain, my little lizard brain is churning here. The wheels are spinning, and it's one of those things where in a free market, essentially, I like a free market, but what I've seen over and over and over again in a free market is shady characters.
Crony capitalism.
There's free market was crypto before all this regulation, before any regulation, it's free market. Like you do whatever you want. However, with that, people are leveraging huge sums of money and influence and stuff like that. So it's like literally impossible for someone like me to really get an edge over those guys unless things are transparent, like you were saying. Like that is the equalizer. Then you start to see, oh, okay, you're doing this, you're moving funds from here, it's put up to these wallets, and like you're funding this Democratic Party or this Republican Party or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things that transparency is, but it's only pseudo transparent.
These things are all connected, even to the China thing. This is a grasp of the Chinese population trying to reach for freedom. Now, we all know what happened in Tiananmen. We'll see what happens with this, but I'm glad that humanity is still fighting for it. You know what I mean? It means a lot to see. But,
yeah, do you see that Evergrande stuff with China? Like, these investors invested in Evergrande, and then like if the Chinese government can just pull whatever money out from your bank account to, like, if you can't pay it or whatever the taxes, they'll just pull it out. They don't care. But so the Chinese investors were like, oh, okay, they're going to pull this out. Let's trade into Bitcoin. And so they started putting all their money into Bitcoin. And then the Chinese government was like, no, Bitcoin's banned again. And that's why they banned everything again. Because the Chinese were trying to get out of there with their Bitcoin. And that's one
you
of those.
don't want to let that control, you know? You don't want to let the control go. And we see the narrative trying to come back to cover your mouth and stay away from each other again. I don't think there's a chance in, pardon my French, but there's not a chance in Hades that this is going to be accepted by Americans at this point again. Like we were very suspect of it. And, you know, I still, in my line of work, nobody did that stuff. We were, you know, guards. We're not We're not enforcing it. We're not putting it on my face and try to tell me to do it. You know, I dare you. So it's definitely something that I don't think that, you know, but did you guys see the or did you hear the SBF stuff today?
I heard some of the clips from it was a Spaces interview, right? Yeah. I heard some of it. Yeah, I think they went a little soft on him again. I'm not sure if that's me or not, but
no, they absolutely did. And like there's about to put out a report from New Genesis. Remember New Genesis? Have you guys seen the Hussein that we brought on to BitBoy? Hussein and Genesis, man, they laid out just an insane proof of counterfeit coins. That there were, you know, like there's basically a write-up I'm putting together of as much details as we can, staying within our lane. But yeah, I mean, there's such dark stuff behind what SBF has done. You know, maybe he's just like a slightly into it patsy, and you know there's other fingers that are running him, which it looks like there is. But I mean, what they did to New Genesis and, in my opinion, ICP, they were destroying competition. They were destroying
theater. You mean
and that's one I bought a little bag of it. You know, when I saw it hit $3, you know, I've been watching that project for a long time, and it's kind of a degen play, like Brad said. You know what I mean? Like we're in this moment, we see things so bloody and red, and taking advantage of these in small regards can really, really add up when we get back to the bull run season. Because I feel like the halving is going to drive the economics regardless within our markets. And you know, people are talking about a 10-year bear market for the S&P. I mean, it made me think, you know, to that 80s time frame again. Telecom did great, you know, get into telecom companies during the 80s. Everyone else is just fleeing for the hills, and a specific technological disruptive sector did great. So that's kind of what I feel like is going to be a singular situation. You know, we're going to see a lot of kind of brick and mortar stocks hurt. We're going to see a lot of other things, but I think this sector in and of itself is going to be doing just fine. So
yeah, I'm not so sure. I'm a little more bearish than you are, honestly. I think it's still considered a risk on asset. That is until it decouples, until regulation comes on. I need to see those two before I really see like, oh, okay, it's going to do well, even though the rest of the market is going to do poorly. I think I think regulation and soft-handed light regulation at first, slow and slowly rolled in regulation. But whenever that stuff rolls in, you already know special interest is like pulling the strings. And like you said, like these little fingers and tentacles are rolling in. And it's like, I think the best, some of the best moves are to play on the opposite ends of the spectrum. I think like buy Bitcoin, buy top 25, and buy like Mega Degen. Like those are like, let's just play both worlds and be super conservative and super aggressive at the same time. But based on your economic, if I've got 10 grand, I'm not spending 8 grand on the Degen plays. I'll probably spend 8 grand here, and then on this conservative, and maybe 1,500 to 2 grand there. That's probably that's what I would do personally. I don't recommend any of that to any other people because I don't know your situation. But
dude, you see this Anchor hack? Yeah, I'm checking out Greenfinger's message on here. It looks like Anchor got hacked.
Really?
Yeah, it looks like they're dumping BNB. Hackers are dumping BNB in a heavy way right now. Contract got hacked, and then they minted 10 trillion BNBC and are swapping them out. And this looks like something's going down right now for Anchor.
Anchor hack for Polygon. No, this is a while ago.
Ones I'm seeing are on they're on Twitter, and they're from just within the last 2 hours.
Twitter. Oh man, Twitter's the streets, man.
Twitter's where the news is, man. The
Twitter's
news follows
bro. What am I? Yeah, for sure. Oh, there's us right there. Okay, hold on. Anchor hack.
I made fun of CNBC or whatever when they're like, "We're gonna leave Twitter." I was like, "Shut up! You ain't gonna leave. You gotta stay
our
here."
BNB token. Our wrap BNB token has been exploded, and we're currently working with exchanges to immediately halt trading. Oh, okay. Son of a gun, dude.
Yeah, bro. So think the Wild West is here, baby. This is the Wild West.
Look at this Anchor exploiter right here.
Huh?
Did anyone hold? Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
Whoa! Oh gosh.
BNB. I wonder what that does to I wonder how much money they had in there.
Who's an enemy of Binance Chain? I wonder. Who's a recent enemy of Binance Chain?
Oh, stop! You don't think so, right? No way.
Who doesn't like Binance at all right now?
Yeah, right. FTX is rolling in with some shady attacks.
Who? I wonder.
No way. This is crazy. This is better than like a movie. Like honestly, someone's gonna come out with a documentary with all this.
Oh, they are. No, they are. There was a film crew following around Ben, so stay tuned.
Oh, that's what's happening? Yo, well, honestly,
I mean, it was. Yeah, I mean, he has a documentary being made of it. We made one on his, and it looks like we've shook him out of the woods. It looks like he's gonna come talk to us. So.
This man, really? Seriously?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You're freaking crazy. See? Oh my dude, he's crazy, man. I mean, really. That's some crazy stuff. Brad was in the Bahamas with him.
So awesome to work for, man. Like I've never seen someone so like he's super intelligent, but he's also got the energy of a professional athlete. And
really,
yeah, he's lit. He's in the zone. He is getting out. He works so hard. Like
really,
yeah, it's insane.
He's crazy though. He went up to his car and started banging on his car and stuff like that.
Well, he just like I mean, hey, we're here. It's in
That's freaking crazy, man.
Maybe we're not used to investigative journalism.
I'm worried for him. I'm worried for BitBoy Crypto. That's what I'm worried for.
We got his back, man.
Golly.
There's some things that are worth more than our perfectly safe bubbles that we want.
Sure.
There's some things that are worth a lot. Like
golly, that I couldn't imagine. I mean, that's got to get me shaking. Honestly, I'd be like scared. I'd be like, hey, is there any FTX goons out here trying to get me or something like that? I don't know, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's investigative journalism. It's refreshing for me to see it bleed into this sector as well. You know what I mean? It's just it's necessary.
Okay, boys. So in this, I've still got a Hangman game to give away here. I've got 25 BUSD to send out to someone in here, but I want to deliver like really good, like I guess opinions, right? I don't want to say advice because it's not financial advice, but opinions. In this bear market, crypto markets are crashing. Mm-hmm. Everyone's kind of assuming that 2023 at least will be very bearish. Who knows for 10 years in the macro. Or 2 years in the crypto. what is an individual to do? We saw, what's AJC couldn't make it tonight.
Yeah.
So
He's in the chat though.
we had you queued up, brother, but I'll save my intro for you later. But so what is someone to do? Like, right, I want to adopt Brad, your philosophy of like, hey, you know what? We don't want to come up with excuses on why we didn't make any money during this time, because it's a whole year, a year of your life. You could build something that, if it survives the bear, it will flourish in the bull. Right. What can someone do during this time? I mean, obviously, investing in crypto is risky, but like, what would you recommend? Say, anyone from a 20-year-old guy to a 30-year-old guy to a 40-year-old guy. Like, what do we do?
Go ahead, Drew. You get to go first this time.
All right. Well, here's my situation is, I'm like sort of making it. Like, right, I own a home, I own my vehicles, I own like about half my home. So right now, what I'm doing is I am basically I bought like $4,000 worth of Bitcoin when it hit 17. I buy $100 to $50 worth of either Cardano or XRP or Constellation DAG or ICP, one of those four things. I buy either every week or every other week, just to constantly build my bag. Yeah, and those are just kind of dark horses. I'm kind of over buying Ethereum out of principle, but that's what because I built, I was able to build, from 6K to at its peak, like 97K out of just 6K, and that's just with the really basic choices. It's
You're not buying Solana?
No, no, but but then you can sprinkle in the ideas like Brad has on super aggressive movers, and that just pads your bag all the way up, right? It's about realizing that line when we're there, though, which I did in some respect, but I felt like it was a mistake. So I sold like some Ethereum to be able to buy a minivan, right at 4,800 in Ethereum. And I was like, this is the stupidest thing in the world, what I'm doing right now, right? I just felt horrible about it. And I sold the gold at 1,900. They were coinciding both at each all-time high, incidentally. So I sold both of them, felt horrible about it, bought the minivan outright. And now everything else is house money, right? But now I'm building another one. And if you keep focused on your goals, create that goal. What does that goalpost look like for you? It's different for everyone. If you're just 18, you want an apartment, right? You want a car or something, you're just getting started. Brad's probably protecting wealth. I am right in the middle of building it, right? So, creating a goal, side hustles are awesome. If you need extra DCA money, side hustles. During 2020, I started a fencing business and worked 2 security roles. I was working 90, 100-hour weeks. I put in the time, I held on to the house, the golf course, and I sold it for a great profit. And I got to enjoy it while I was doing it. So paying that price pays off, So side hustles, I knew how to fence when I was a kid. So I was like, hey, I'm going to go get an LLC and just go fix some fences, side hustles, money-making scheme. There's all kinds of ways to make money. We covered something about a guy putting a picture on a dollar bill and selling it for $15. It's out there. So it's happening.
Yeah. All right, Brad, what you thinking?
I think that everybody should go back and watch that last 3 or 4 minutes over and over and over and over and over and over until they understand what Drew just said. I couldn't have said it any better, my friend. I agree so much. We talk a lot about making money on here, but I'm a huge believer that money's not going to do you any good if you don't get the mindset right first.
Yeah.
So I would recommend go out and buy and read a book called Think and Grow Rich.
Good one.
One of the things that's going to help you do is it's going to help clarify, like Drew said, you got to have clarity on what you want before you can go get it. So many folks just kind of stumble through life with no goals, no dreams, no real plan. It's not enough to just say, I'd like to have a new car. You got to be able to say, hey, I want a 2023 Range Rover. I want it to be black on black with leather interior. And, like, you got to get specific with what you want, because the more you do that, the more your brain, your subconscious mind will help you to attract it. And then, once again, we're all here because we love cryptocurrency, but I never found a way to create wealth in my life the way that crypto did.
Right.
I could never get excited about investing in the stock market because 5, 10, 15, even 20% a year wasn't going to change my life. When I got into crypto and I saw my mentor turn 10 grand into 2 million, in the bull run of 17 going into 18, that's the kind of stuff that got me excited. Yep. And that's what you guys that are watching these videos, that are here on this stream have at your fingertips. So just like what Drew said, you got to figure out a way. So many people say, I can't afford to invest. And it's just change one word. Instead of saying I can't afford, just say, how can I afford? You say I can't afford, and your brain turns off. It'll give you all of the reasons why you're right. At the same time, if you say, hey, how can I afford to invest? Your brain will go to work, and it'll help you come up with some ways that you can. Side hustles, Uber, working a second job, starting your own business. I mean, there's so many different ways right now that you can go out and create some extra income. So instead of coming home and sitting on the couch watching Netflix for 4 or 5 hours before you go to bed, you got to, my mentors always told me, you make a living from 9 to 5, make your fortune from 5 till bedtime.
That's an awesome saying right there.
Yeah, I like that.
Especially if you're already entrenched in the rat race. If you're already, 25, 30, 35, you're in debt, you're just barely making it, living paycheck to paycheck. You got to, what do they say? You got to do something different to have something different. And so, and then to get back to the crypto, like Drew said, just DCA, 50 here, 100 there, adds up. We've got a year to a year and a half probably to accumulate at some amazing prices. And then even on its way up, you can still be buying. I mean, when Bitcoin's 30, 40, 50, 60,000 on its way to 150 or 200,000, there's still going to be some great buying opportunities. So, I've heard it said that most people greatly overestimate what they can accomplish in a year, but they totally underestimate what they can accomplish in 5. So this is people's opportunity the next few years to really set themselves up for life financially, by watching Aaron and getting educated and just investing a little bit here and there into some of these amazing cryptocurrency projects.
I'm going to start a business, and it's the Brad Varnell coaching business is what I'm going to do. And I'm charging. So, hey, Brad, what is, you mentioned like these side hustles or prep, you mentioned these things. Are you guys doing anything specific? Give me a detailed idea or plan or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, are you guys doing anything on the side like that?
I am. Yeah, I still am. I mean, like, I do my dream job. It pays a livable wage, but it's not a massive, amazing wage. It's doing my dream job. So, like, for instance, I'm going to be putting up trim boards on the weekend here in like a week or two, just to get an extra paycheck from a side job, right? And then I'm thinking about, how to allocate my taxes. I'm already thinking about how I'm going to do that for when they come next year. I'm praying that we stay this low until that is done, because there is nothing sweeter than taking my tax money back and sending it into the Bitcoin blockchain. There is no better feeling than that. So, that's like
those tax returns early. February 1, get them back to me.
Dude, Klaus Schwab had a heart attack today. You know what the craziest thing about this is?
What's that?
He has a heart.
Oh, get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Brad, what do you have any like ideas, like tangible ideas that you got that you're doing yourself or that you think that anyone could possibly do?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's crypto. I started doing some one-on-one coaching a few months back. Some of the stuff that you've heard me say are things that I talk about to my clients. On the very first call when I get on with a client, the first thing I ask them is to tell me, what they want and when they want it by and what they're going to do with it, and help them to get clarity, because I think it's important to know what you're going to do with it when you have it too. So I'm doing some individual one-on-one coaching. That's not for everybody because my time is pretty valuable, so it's not cheap. But I'm also working behind the scenes right now on a group coaching program where people can, the average hard working person can get in and just pay like a monthly fee. They're going to get a great library of stuff to do when you first start getting into crypto. And then there's going to be some one-on-one time with me in a group setting where 10, 15, 20 people will hop on a Zoom, but they can ask me an individual question and then just kind of be on screen, just like this, talking back and forth with me, and everybody that's there gets to soak up and hear the answer to their question. And I'm doing that, say once a week for an hour or so. So those are a couple of the things that I'm working on. I think that everybody can probably help other people with their expertise. So whatever your expertise is, whether you're a mechanic or you're in sales, or even if you're a school teacher, you'd be amazed at how many other school teachers or people would love to soak up your knowledge if you're really an expert in that field.
Yeah.
And then, back when I was younger, what I would have probably done before this, like if I was just getting started in crypto, I was a poker dealer. So I'd be volunteering for extra shifts. I'd be going and getting a second poker job. I'd be driving Uber. I'd go get a job as a waiter. I've never liked traditional, working at a 7-Eleven or something for $10 an hour. I want something where I can make more what I'm worth. So like as a server in a nice restaurant, because of my personality, and I'm going to do a good job, I'm going to make people feel special. I'm going to make, 25, 30, $40 an hour in the restaurant business. So I would really look at something like that. And then garage sailing and that kind of stuff. These days, there's so many opportunities to go on to OfferUp and Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and scoop up things for a fraction of what they're really worth. It takes a little bit of work. It takes some time. But I know several people that are making a few $100s a week in their spare time just buying and selling items off of those marketplaces. So if you want it bad enough, there's 1,000 different ways that you can make some extra money to fund your crypto investing.
Yeah, I think those are great ideas. I just want to throw in two. I'm going to echo everything you guys said, but I'm going to go also, maybe a little contrarian here. One is if you're working a job, for me personally, as an employer, if I see someone working hard, I want to grab hold of them, because there's a whole bunch of, like, the job market right now. I feel like people don't want to work. Yeah. And so if you are a shining star, like you are like putting in 120% when everyone else is putting in 20%, like the real employers are going to want to take that along with you, or will take that along with them. And so that's personally, so I want to see some people in here really being go-givers rather than go-getters in their jobs. Like, a lot of people just clock in the very bare minimum. I think that's wrong. I think you should pour in a lot into like a job, even if you hate it, and establish like your value there, and then eventually you'll pay, because this job market, it's very easy. I've seen this funny story.
It's an applicant's job market right now. I spent 10 years as a headhunter and recruiter.
Oh, really?
And it's, companies were absolutely, it's so much different now. Like companies beforehand, they could get 200 resumes. Maybe we'll talk to some. They kind of sat weird. I don't know. Can you send me another batch? And then now they're like, well, I quit during flu season over. Jab. But and I helped build the company, by the way. But basically now they are begging. Like, companies are actively calling recruiting firms like, hey, what's your candidate pipeline look like right now?
I don't know what happened to people. Like, people just,
where did they go? Like, I don't.
Yeah, how are they all surviving and paying their bills?
I think it's just a downgrading in the expectations of life.
Maybe like a cultural thing or something, or maybe everyone's starting their own businesses or something. I have no idea.
Uptick, but there's not a huge uptick. So
you're probably right. I have no idea. I have zero clue on what the heck happened to the job market and what happened to people's work ethic.
Yeah.
I am doubling down on everything. I'm trying to like get my mind straight on like YouTube and crypto and investing and my job with my church. But the other thing is I'm starting like 4 different businesses, which I don't think is smart, but it's all the same template. Like I'm a marketer, so I have this skill of like getting clients, and I'm going to just like try to source a whole bunch of people from the industry and then like dish it out to them and just get the referrals. So that's like what I'm working on right now, and I'm doing it in 4 different industries. I just have to copy and paste the template. But yeah, I think it's doable for anyone to like come up with a skill set. If you know how to, if you work with your hands, if you work with your brain, you know what I mean? Like you could figure it out, I think is a very valuable tool. One thing that we got to figure out here before the time ends, and I have to give out this thing, I want to give out some stimulus money here. This is the stimulus. Let's see here. How many? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it's not stimulus. That's not the word.
Okay.
Brad, you're gonna go, then Drew, and then we're gonna keep on going rapid fire. It's over the hour long. It's over an hour long, but there's 19 people in here, 23 actually right here. So please check in and let's go. Let's do this thing. So Brad, go ahead.
Let's do this, man. Hey, Drew, if you've never been a part of one of Aaron's Hangman, Drew, you are in for a treat, my friend.
Okay.
He comes up with the craziest, weirdest words you could ever think of. Stumps us almost every time.
We didn't play Hangman last time you were here?
No.
So I play this game. I play Hangman just to give out money. And like I played on my NFT show just to give out NFTs and stuff like that. But yeah, basically I'm gonna ask Brad for a letter, then you for a letter. And if I see anyone in the chat who gets the word first, they get the win. But if you or Brad guess it, then you guys will pick someone in the chat who you like, and they'll get the win.
That's awesome. Let's go.
So let's go. All right. Go ahead, Brad. Start us off.
Well, I've learned one thing. You definitely don't want to go with any of the normals like the RST or anything like that when it comes to your words. So let's try a P.
P. Whoa, P is correct. Good job.
E.
Eek, you're wrong. You're wrong.
What about an O?
What about an O? What about an O right there, Brad? Brad's on fire right now.
D.
D. Good job. You're not a dope. D. Oh,
there
wait,
it is.
Wrong color. There you go. Go ahead, Brad.
R.
Are you serious? Because that's wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. There's never an R in any of your words.
A.
You're wrong.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to draw Sam Beckman-Fried is right here. This is what I'm drawing.
Yeah. Well, the hair has to be another chance.
Oh, Green Fingers! Green Fingers gets it.
Oh, did you get it?
Oh, he spelled it wrong though, but I'll give it to you. It's diphthong for sure.
Diphthong. I would never get that. Oh my God.
What is it?
Oh no, he spelled it wrong. He spelled it right. Diphthong. There you go. Yeah, so yeah, there you go. Good job, guys.
Dude,
good job.
Audience members we got in here, man.
Dude, they know. They've been playing. So actually, fun story for anyone in here. So here's some Hangman Alpha. The hardest word to guess is you know what? Let's just do it. This is not for money, but I just want to give you guys the hardest word to guess. It's
okay, but this time you have to give us the hair on the it has to have the fuzzy hair. That's a whole
you got. I wanted to get there.
Okay.
All right. So Green Fingers, you won. I'll do another giveaway. It's all good. Green GF. Yeah. Okay. So I just want to give you the hardest word to guess in Hangman. So go ahead, Prep.
Oh gosh. Let's see. A.
You are right.
Oh yes. Really?
Yep.
All right.
Well, I was thinking that Onyx, like ONYX, would be a tough one, but it's
obviously that's a good one.
Not that. Let's put a Y in there.
Why are you wrong, Brad? Why are you wrong? You are wrong here again.
Oh,
I could be
not-
wrong about this, Drew, but I'm pretty sure the A is probably the only vowel.
okay.
Um,
Okay.
let's try an X.
X is wrong as well. You guys got a big old X.
Well, I was thinking pain, but obviously it's not that.
Babe, not babe.
Let's see, D.
D, dodos. You guys are wrong.
Okay, how about jazz? Jazz.
Oh my gosh, you got it. Good
Whoa.
job. Good job. That is the hardest word. That is the hardest word to guess in Hangman. Some Hangman Alpha.
Also pretty quick. My goodness.
You probably did you look it up? Don't lie to me.
I
Did
promise I didn't look it up. I was
Yeah,
just
listen, we
thinking
gotta play back
I
in
was
here
just
if we can-
thinking of words that had weird letters in them, like onyx came to my mind
Oh,
because
yes,
it's
yes.
only got the one vowel in its N, XY or NYX or whatever. So
Good call. I shouldn't have said this is the hardest word because I prepped it wrong, but I was so excited to share that fact with you. Anyways, guys, oh yeah, Brad, you won. So can you pick someone in the chat who would like to win $25 in BUSD? I already got
Yeah.
green finger, so he can't be.
yeah, I would like to award the 25 to Ty Stu. He was super active and really had a lot of good comments, and appreciate him being here.
Ty Stu, guys, Ty Stu, Green Fingers, good job. Thanks for always, you guys are regulars on the channel, so thanks so much for the support. I genuinely love it because it's why we do any of this stuff. I love connecting with you guys. You guys were part of the show. I mean, going back and forth with us. So I really appreciate that. Guys, if you guys haven't already, check out the links down in the description below. Check out Preps, check out Infinite's channels there. Also, AJC's in there. Just give him some love. Go and follow them and check his stuff out as well. Thank you guys, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being on the stream, and of course to the chat room. You guys are the real stars of the show. Thank you so much, GF, Ty Stu. I'll get to you guys with these soon, and we'll see you in the next stream.